For those just tuning in, good evening. We are expecting Mount Union to be up and ready for their time slot in the next couple of minutes. Hang tight with us as we will have them on in a few minutes. After then, we will hear from Trine. And then tomorrow at 3, we have the MCVL Championship game between Mount Union and Baldwin-Wallace. Following that game, we will also have a time slot for press conferences, starting with the winning team first and then the losing team, and that will close out our coverage for the 2025 MCVL Tournament. Thank you for sticking with us here at SmeeSports and UMU Boxcast. We will be back on in a few minutes with Mount Union once they are up here and ready to.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to say first, all glory to God. Without him, I am nothing.
Power the shove, Neighbor Nation, we will see you on Saturday afternoon. Riley Meister gets the point.
Back into left field. Say goodnight to that baseball.
And there's another one. It's back to back jacks for KSU Tuscarawas. Needs a point, and it's alive. Hansen pushes it over. Unbelievable. We play on. It's blocked. We're tied. We're tied. Unbelievable.
We are here with the Mount Union Purple Raider men's volleyball team. We have Michael Bowler, Coach Mihalik, and Will Heaney. Coach, I'll let you go with your opening statement first, and I'm sure this is going to be a positive one given a great game from your guys.
Yeah, we really hit positively on offense. That was one of the keys that we needed to have to seal a victory. They really obviously brought it defensively, and they're a really strong team offensively as well, so we needed to weather the storm there at the beginning of the game and then took over the rest of the game there.
Looking at this game from the starting of it, 1-0 Trine through one set, and I'm sure you guys in the back of your mind started seeing the first meeting between you guys earlier on in the year. What did you learn in that reverse sweep that helped you guys avoid having to get to that situation today?
Yeah, we knew they were a tenacious team on defense. I kept talking to the guys about being persistent on offense. You don't put a ball down, go to the next one, keep going, rely on your defense, those types of things where we have to make sure that we're continuing to press on, even though they have a stifling defense and they pop some balls up and put it back over on us. So, that was the main message to the guys going into this game was, they don't let a ball die. They play great defense, and we have to make sure that we continue to just pound the ball away.
Michael, this question is for you. Congratulations on winning Offensive Player of the Year for the conference. Did you feel any difference in your coverage today in comparison to the first meeting? And if so, how did you overcome it?
Definitely towards the second set, I just felt like every time I jumped, there was 4 solid hands every swing. So that was definitely a little frustrating. And I talked to Coach, talked to one of our other middles on the bench, and definitely just had to try new things with Will. But me and Will, when something's not working, we have tons of things to take out of the bag.
And Will, this question is for you. A lot of leadership from you. And today, the kills that we saw, they weren't letting the ball travel up and then spiking it. It's halfway through the travel, especially with Camden. the ball was on the hardwood the next time you look. Just talk about your rapport with all of your hitters. I mean, a lot of great guys out there, and somehow in some way your service every time is nearly perfect.
Yeah, it's great to have them. We definitely try to run a quick offense. Coach pushes it. So having people that can be there, where I want to set is paramount, and they all can do it perfectly fine. So it's easy for me to say. I guess I'm just, fulfilling the ball, and they're taking the rest of it. So.
Final question for all of you. With a win tomorrow, you would be the first team to sweep the board, regular season and tournament champion since 2021. If you guys get there, how would that feel? And Coach, how does this group compare to the group of 22 that made it to the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, feeling would be great. Obviously, we set goals, and it's step by step for us all year long, and that's the reason that we try to take. We don't look too much down the road. We just take it step by step and absolutely try to execute next game, whoever's next in our path. It'd mean a lot, obviously. It'd mean a lot for these guys. These guys were freshmen when we were there last, and so it'd be nice bookend for their college career. And that'd be nice. It'd be a great thing to win regular season and tournament champions. So we got a good opponent in BW tomorrow, and so we're excited to play them, and they always bring it. So we're excited to play them tomorrow here.
Thank you, guys. I'll open the floor up for any more questions.
Yeah, this is for Will, kind of, but Coach also. But just talk about the consistency here. You're fifth in the career active list right now for assists. And just talk about, with your hitters between Jack and Michael and Cam, and then Phil has come alive here this year. Just kind of talk about those guys a little bit.
I feel like Phil comes alive always in the MCVL tournament, it seems like. But yeah, like I was saying, they make it easy on me, to set the ball simply because they're always there. We're always talking, after practice, during practice, after games, during games. So I think the communication's great, and they make it easy on me.
Michael, talk about, so you were the offensive player of the year. Defensive player of the year isn't in the room right now, but kind of talk about him. He had 12 digs today, and just talk about his presence on the floor behind you.
Yeah, no, having Peyton on the court is just so fun. I mean, I'm just not worried when I go up to block. If I seal the block, I know we're either going to get the block or he's going to be behind me somewhere getting the ball up miraculously. But his presence on the court defensively is awesome, but I think his biggest aspect is between the net. He's every single play you see him standing up right behind us in the front row, just talking, getting us all locked in. He just definitely keeps us lighthearted, and it's just very good for our team.
And then question for Will and Michael. The guy in between you is the coach of the year, his second time ever. But kind of just talk about how his leadership has helped you guys get to this spot so far.
Yeah, I mean it's just great every day. We have a very good relationship with Coach. It's not like it's coach and then players. It's more of a two-party system. It's players and coach on the same level. So he's very open to criticism and just explaining things to us, which is very nice so we can work things out to improve the team.
I would push the same things. He's always, he's never overarching, overbearing on us, and I think that helps us a lot. It makes us feel more comfortable when we're playing, and it just lets us ease up and just do what we do. So. And
then my last question for you three. The fans today brought the energy. I think this is probably the largest crowd we've had in a while. Kind of just talk about the community here and how they support you guys.
Yeah, it was awesome to see. I think that's definitely the most we've had. They were doing the wave while we were playing, so that's just awesome. It was great to see.
Yeah, we need to pack the Mac tomorrow.
Yeah, it's nice seeing people you see around campus show up to a game and they're going crazy for you regardless of what happens. So it's just a very tight-knit community here. I saw the basketball team there, shout out to them, but we always try to go to their games, so we get loud and rowdy and they do the same for us. So it's a nice community.
Question for me, just being around Mount Union for as long as I have, and Coach, you guys just always seem really chill. Does that come from your coach, or where does that come from? Especially Will, but even all of you guys going into the matches. Aaron Armour and Will are two of the most chill guys I've ever seen on the court. But in general, you guys just always seem like you have that quiet confidence. You've gone down in matches. You talked about a reverse sweep. You went down tonight. You didn't really blink. Just talk a little bit about that. Where does that come from?
I mean, I definitely just say, the first set was a big aspect of it. We just got we were playing very individual ball, and we were taking it so serious. And as much work as we put in and dedication we have to the sport, the best we play is when we just play lighthearted. We're joking around. They'll bounce a ball on us. Doesn't matter. We'll get a kill. We'll celebrate. It's just playing lighthearted definitely helps us keep a cool, relaxed game plan.
Yeah, I feel like when I was growing up, I heard in baseball the saying is teams take on the characteristics of their coach, and so I try to take that to heart when I'm trying to influence young men in the ways to act, the way to respond to situations, the way to respond to adversity. When things don't always go your way, how are you going to react and how are you going to respond? So I try to keep a cool, calm, and collected manner outwardly. Inwardly, it's like a duck on a pond. You can't see those paddles underneath the water, but they're going a mile a minute. So that's really what I try to bring to the team is a cool, level-headed type of play. Sometimes I'm sure you guys have seen me go a couple of times here, blow a top once or twice, but and that's the heat of the moment type of thing. But for the most part, I want them to feed off of my cool, calm, collected energy, so that they are together, they are executing, and they are processing balls as best we can. Okay.
Cool. And then just last thing for me is both you and Baldwin Wallace have been ranked in the top 20 this season. Really just the strength of the MCVL has really shown out. Even during the non-conference season, we had a lot of teams winning against some of the other ranked teams. Just, Coach, you've been around this league for a long time. Can you just talk about the level? I know you said Ohio volleyball is a big part of it, which it certainly is, but just talk about how the level's been raised and then what we can expect in what I consider an NCAA tournament type of match tomorrow between two teams that are very deserving to be in that field.
Yeah, for sure. Beat-Up's got a roster full of Ohio guys. These two are Northeast Ohio guys. The level in Ohio is getting better and better every year. So that's great. And that's attributed to, obviously, the high school getting sanctioned, all that stuff. But, we're very much looking forward to this matchup. They are a very similar team to us in terms of our guys they get along with them. They're really good guys over there at B-Dub, and we appreciate and respect them, wholeheartedly. So we're really looking forward to the matchup tomorrow. Really excited for this matchup, and obviously, we had a couple of good wins earlier on in the year and have really competed with some of the nationally ranked teams, put up some good scores, and just within a couple of ticks of getting some wins there over some nationally ranked teams. So our season's been very competitive, and we're very much looking forward to tomorrow's match.
Anything to add to that for you two, or Coach? Go ahead, Michael.
I would just say there's just so much respect between us and BW. It's just like whenever we play, it feels like the most pure form of volleyball. It's just we have so much respect for them. They respect us, and when we play, it's just a great time. We can keep that lightheartedness, but we're playing as competitive as we possibly can.
Awesome. Anything to add to that, Will? No. This is good. Your guys are slam dunking a lot of these questions here. So, all right, we are all set here. Like you guys said, it's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
We'll see you there.
All right, we are ready for Trine's portion of the post-game interview. Coach, I'll open the floor to you for your opening statement.
I thought we put up a pretty good fight tonight, kind of following on the heels of that first match. Tried to put on just as good of a show, and I thought we started off really well. Mount Union made one more adjustment than we did ultimately in the end. I thought we fought well. I'm very proud of kind of how our senior group was able to kind of keep everyone together. You guys have anything?
I would just say, today, despite the results, it was kind of a good, capstone to seeing our team come together and play together as a team. And even though the result obviously wasn't what we had hoped for, it was just really telling of how our team's able to fight and come together no matter what the circumstances are.
Yeah, I think that sums it up perfectly.
My first question for you guys. Coach, you said before the game, this is a young group, a lot of guys leaving after last year. To have a young group, a lot of freshmen, get this experience so early on in their career, talk about how that will help them and help you guys get back to here and even further next year and then the year after and so on and so forth.
Yeah, so we're actually in the weird position of we graduated a bunch last year and we're going to graduate even more this year. So I think we had 5 seniors that were starting for us. But we had a couple freshmen kind of step up pretty big for us with Ty, Jaron, and Xander. All had some pretty pivotal roles. And then we've got a sophomore and a junior in Johnson on the outside, and then Carl in the middle. That I think is a pretty good core that got some experience last year and got kind of the unfortunate experience this year of being on the losing side.
Talking about Kevin Boncaro as a player, I mean, great career at Trine. Congrats to you. All the best to you in the future. If you can sum up your career in one word, what would it be? And then, Coach, sum up his career in one word.
Oh, man. I think the word would be growth. As a player, as a person, as a teammate, a lot of the growth that I've seen has come from off the court, behind the scenes, in the locker room and practices, there's been a growth as a player as well, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, so much has changed, and I've just become a better person as a result of all this.
Yeah, transformation, I guess. Kevin's a completely different player from what he was freshman year to now, and he's somehow changed even more, kind of just as a human being, both maturity-wise and just how he interacts with the guys and kind of mentoring some of the younger guys.
And my final question before I open up the floor to more questions. This group, a talented group, and as you said, a group in a transition period. What is one thing you learned about this team this year that will help you become a better coach next year as you teach the next generation of Trine men's volleyball?
Kind of on a fun note, I think I need to feed the guys Raising Cane's a little bit more. I think we've had all of our best matches when we've had that as a pregame meal. So we'll find a way to incorporate that more. But kind of on the serious side, it's kind of the way that this group's able to fight through adversity, and instead of separating, they kind of all can come together. And it might be kind of all relying on Kevin to lead us some places, but we had just as many moments where we relied on Brian's defense or Ryan's setting or any of the other seniors kind of having to step up.
Gentlemen, thank you. And now I will open up the floor to more questions.
Just a question for Kevin. I guess it could be for Will and Brian too, but just talk to me about the journey. You talked about growth for yourself as a player, as an individual, but what about just growth for Trine men's volleyball from where it was when you came in and going to the NCAA tournament last year and all of that kind of stuff? Can you just talk about that a little bit, Kevin, and just sort of how far Trine has progressed since you've been with the Thunder?
Yeah, I mean, I remember the first time we came to the MCVL tournament, and it really felt like kind of the imposter syndrome that we don't belong here, we're not at this caliber. And then, slowly we kind of stepped into our shoes a little bit and got going. And then after we won it and went to the tournament and made a pretty good run at almost beating a very good team, we walked in today, and I was able to look around and confidently be like, we belong here. We're a competitive team. And so just that transformation is incredible to feel in a team in 4 years.
Yeah, anything on that?
I would say pretty similar. just the journey from kind of being in that position where it doesn't feel like we fit in, kind of like Kevin said. Always kind of feeling like an underdog team during our freshman and kind of leading into our sophomore year, to now kind of having that expectation, I'd call it, to come back every year to the conference tournament and kind of continue to set our expectations higher and higher as the years go on. So now I feel like it should be an expectation to make conference, and then in a few years see a few more wins in conference and overall start winning conference and going to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, Coach, you obviously talked about last year you had an incredible senior class. This year you have an incredible senior class. How do you take what those guys have set as the standard for this program and continue that in the future after they're gone?
That's a bit of a hard, challenging thing. Kind of what I wanted to do this year was make sure that we're not comparing ourselves as a team and individually to different aspects of what last year was. We're a different team. We have to approach the game differently. So it's going to be a little bit of continuing to do that, but having kind of a championship trophy hanging around the office in the locker room and having some pictures and stuff from that to be memories and to kind of look and be like, okay, we're going to go get one of those, or this incoming freshman class to be, hey, we want to try to get 4 of those. Hopefully can be a pretty good motivator.
And Brian, can you just talk a little bit about Kevin Boncaro and what he's meant to this team over the last 5 seasons? And also just kind of, just generally kind of your experience at Trine.
Yeah, absolutely. Being in the same class as Kevin, I can definitely say that growth is a great word to describe him, and just inspiring in general. Kind of watching him develop, both in skill and just now, it's like 2 completely different people in like the most positive way ever. He's become just such a leader on the team and someone you can rely on, both to bring that competitive skill and that kind of reliance on the court, but also someone you can kind of lean back on and talk to, whether it's about volleyball or school or kind of the mental challenges of the sport. So I would just say, like, the growth I've seen from him and kind of being able to be a part of his journey, it's just been incredible. And I wouldn't have asked for any other way to do it. It's been incredible.
Yeah, Kevin, if you ever need a letter of recommendation via video, you should just clip that right there and send it out, because that was very, very well said by Brian. Any other questions for the Thunder group? Alrighty, that'll wrap things up here from the semifinals of the MCVL tournament. I can say to you 3, it's been a pleasure being around Trine and being around those of you that are graduating. And Will, we hope that we're going to be seeing you for a long time. So thank you to you 3. Great fight tonight, and we wish you nothing but the best of luck going forward.